In this video, we're going to go over Bates stamping. We're going to talk about what Bates numbers are. We're going to show you how to create Bates numbers or brand files, which is how you do it. We're going to talk about Bates searching, Bates reporting, and ultimately file naming. So let's hop in the product and get to it. This is not like most of our videos in which we focus on a specific widget. Since we're focusing on a topic here, we're going to jump around into a number of different widgets. But let's hop into the case we want to use, which is link 7. I'm going to open that up. And let's make sure the grid loads. Once we've got a document up, all right, perfect. The grid has loaded. Let's go to Files just to make things simple and pretty straightforward, because we know these were all render and do so in reasonable ways. Okay, so first let's talk about what a Bates number is. For those of you in the legal space, you probably already know, and so I'm just going to do this really quickly. I'm just going to click on this file. I'm going to go to its PDF, and I know this file is Bates stamped, and there you can see this file has a Bates number ABC 0034, and that basically identifies the documents. Each page of the document will have its own Bates number, and so it enables you to put, let's say, hundreds of documents together as though they're one gigantic and have a page numbering system that flows through the entire document set. So that's what they are. Let's talk about how we apply them. Let me go down a few documents here to this one. Let's just do this one. It could be any one. I just want to avoid these, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But we're going to go look at the PDF, and we can see there's no Bates number here. You can Bates anywhere on the top and anywhere on the bottom, but there's no Bates numbers on the bottom either. I know that is not a Bates number. All right, so let's go ahead and apply a Bates number to this document. And just to make things fun, let's apply it to both of these documents. We go into Processing Options, PDF Options, and we're going to do Brand Objects. And that will bring up our little set of branding options. We can watermark, and there's a video that explains branding and shows you how to watermark and what that does. But we're going to focus just on this section. You can see we have 6 different options: left header, center, right header, left footer, center footer, and right footer. Let's stick with our left header here, but it doesn't matter. Sort, this is something interesting. I'm not going to utilize it in this branding. We'll utilize it in a second here afterwards. But this will enable you to control the order in which the documents get branded. And you can do it based on any column. You can see all the columns are here. So if you want to make sure that, let's say, smaller documents are branded first and then larger documents, whatever the criteria is, you obviously wouldn't do it based on something like that, but you might do it based on something like path. You can go ahead and select that here, and then it will brand in the order of that sort. But like I said, we're not going to do it right now. We're going to go ahead here to Bates numbers, and we're going to do prefix ABC. And just for fun, let's start it at 25. And padding, we're going to have 4, and let's make it a little bit legible, and we'll do 12. And we're going to go ahead and run branding. That's a simple job. It's an imaging job, imaging submitted, and it's going to, execute the job, and we can see the status of the job if we wanted to by opening the job wizard. However, these jobs are very quick, so I'll just give it a second here, and then I'll just click back on PDF, and it should brand. So let me actually hop off. Oh, excuse me, I'm not sure. Make sure we're even looking at the right document here. Oh, we were. So let's click on this, and there we are. There's our branding. It started on 25, and you can see 26, 27. So there were 3 documents here, and now let's go to this next one. And again, click on PDF. 28. Perfect, exactly like we would have expected. Okay, so that's how we apply brands, and that again gives you a better sense of what branding is. If you want to see the most recent branding applied to any document, you can expose, well, these columns. You can get to them by going to Select, and then come all the way to the bottom. We just added them, so they're all the way at the bottom, and you click on Bates, and then you select these. I've already selected them, so there's no need to. So let me go ahead and refresh the grid. You have to refresh the grid to get them to update. And then we'll go down to our document there, and we're going to scroll to the right, and you can see now, look, that was the prefix we did, ABC, ABC. Page count was 3, page count was 2. The start was 25, and the start there was 28, and our padding was 4. So you have the ability to get a good sense for what documents, if you will, are Bates stamped in your set, and you can sort on them. But again, this only applies to the most recently applied Bates stamp. So let's talk about historical Bates stamps, because it's possible to Bates stamp a document many, many different times. The reason you might do that is, let's say we Bates stamp these numbers, and now we want to make them part of a production set. Neither one of these documents is part of a production set. You can see it doesn't have streams here. But let's go ahead and make these part of a production set, or at least let's make this one part of a production set. And we'll see how that applies to Bates numbers. So we go ahead and we produce this. We're going to add it to a production. Let's see what productions we have available. We'll add it to our third production. And let's go ahead and save that. Oh, shoot. Oh my gosh, am I on the wrong document here? I think I just made a mistake. I did indeed. My ID here is 2007. That is not what I want. Silly me, I apologize. Let me click onto the document we actually care about. It's got the Bates number there. When we refresh the grid, in fact, that's what it set back to the first document. So let's go ahead and add this to the production set, in fact. And then let's add this other one to the production set as well. We could have added them both to the production set by just right-clicking and using the grid option. But let's just do it like this. Okay, we've added these both to production sets. Now if we click back on this, we should see its part has a stream now. Let's hopefully see that. Yep, there you go. It's got the third product. That's the production set we just made it part of. Now, because we've made it part of a production set, the Bates number is now searchable. It's searchable at 2 times. You can run a database search on it. You can search on these columns, and you'll of course find the various Bates numbers you want. But if you want to search on the whole Bates number, ABC0025, for example, it needs to have been made part of a production set. So let me show you how you do Bates searching. Let's search on ABC and then star. We want any Bates number that starts ABC. To do that, we're going to click here on this pound number, this hash number. This is called Bates searching. Click on that, and that will find all of our documents that are reactive to that Bates searching. And you can see that the document we were just on turned up, as it should have. And the other one, interestingly or not, did not turn up. I imagine it hasn't yet completed indexing because we just ran it. If we wait a little bit and run the search again, it should turn up. But no point in really doing that. I want to move on in any event. You can see that the Bates number, in fact, did turn up here for all documents that have ABC as part of their Bates number. All right, so that is Bates searching. That is how you apply Bates. Now let's go back and utilize the sort capability of the Bates number, because that can actually be quite relevant to some people. And I want to make sure I show you that. So I'm going to go ahead here and clear my search. Okay, and let's reapply the filter we wanted, which was the files, just to get back to our relevant documents. All right, now, these are the two documents we had Bates stamped previously. And we did it in their object ID order number, and we saw that that in fact worked. But let's do it in the object name sort order. So to do that, let me go ahead and apply a sort here. And then let's scroll down. Hopefully we can scroll down to the bottom here. Yeah, we got some documents that are named things that aren't all the same, so we'll get a sort order to it. I want to come to right the beginning of those generic documents. Where are those? Oh, let's just do these. They just make things easy. So these are in alphabetical order. If we did not apply any sort order to them, they'd actually be Bates stamped in object ID order. So if I don't do anything and I just Bates stamp these, this document will have the lowest Bates number, followed by this number, followed by this document, followed by this document. But let's try to avoid that. Let's say we want them Bates stamped in this order. No, excuse me. Where's PDF operations, brand? We're going to again do the left header Bates. This time we're going to apply the sort criteria, and we're going to do object name. And let's just go ahead and run branding. And again, it runs relatively quickly, so we probably won't have to wait too long. Let's go ahead and click on this document, see if we can get, we got the PDF. There we go. And you can see we started again from 25, so this is the lowest one, and that would not have been the case had we done it without a sort order. This one should come next, 25, and then finally the last one, which is 87. Obviously, this document has a number of different pages to it. All right, so that's how we do it with sort order. The last two things I want to show you is reporting on Bates numbers. Let me show you how to do that. We do that by coming here, excuse me, let me close this. We do that by coming here and going to reports. All right, we've got Bates reports here. And you click on that and you choose your case, link 7. And go ahead and apply that. And now we come here and we have a search. And let's just see all the different Bates numbers in this document. In this case. Run star as my search. And you can see all the different documents that, all the different, production sets that have been run. And what Bates numbers they have in them. So you can see this document has Bates numbers, well, if you hover on them, you can see the Bates numbers. You can see the second production has all these Bates numbers. This one only has ABC and ABC 0029, and this one has all these different DEFs. If there are gaps in the Bates numbering set, you'll see them in the Bates report. If there are duplicates, you'd see them in the duplicate report. We don't have any here. But that enables you to get a very good idea of all the documents in your document set, first of all. All the Bates numbers that have been applied to your document set. And notice relatively quickly any sort of anomalies you have. If you have a gap in the Bates numbering, if you have duplicates, something that you know you need to fix before you actually go to production. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you is file naming. Let's go to the export widget. Um, Here again, we've got our link 7 case loaded. I've chosen the Bates4 label for the export. None of this actually matters. What I'm really trying to show you is this. If you choose a native or load file, you have the opportunity to name the files that are going to be exported. You can do that using Bates number. This will give it the file the name of the last Bates number that was assigned to this document. It does that by going to those columns I showed you and calculating the Bates number and then applying it to the object during the time of export. So you can end up, if you wanted to have documents labeled, documents named on export based on Bates number, this is how you would achieve that. And you can do that with a native export or a load file export. So those are the things I wanted to show you with Bates numbering. Just to review, we explained what Bates numbering was. I showed you how to apply a Bates number. I showed you where in the grid you could search on the various Bates numbers. I also showed you how to run a generic case Bates search. Showed you how to apply Bates numbers by sort. I showed you where you could report on Bates numbers, and finally how to use those Bates numbers to represent the file names of an export. That's a lot to digest. If you have any questions, as always, please post. But hopefully that's more than enough functionality for you in terms of your Bates stamping needs. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope this was helpful.